I wonder if you could share, what do you think is in store for us in our future, and how do we need Christogenically to shape that future?
I find a lot of anxiety and fear today of the future. Part of the problem is we have so many levels of information now coming into our little human brains that they're a little bit overworked. They can't quite process all the information. And there's very little guidance from our super systems, as to how to motivate our lives for more cooperation and compassionate living. And therefore, we need to, I guess I'm a firm believer in the power of prayer, and the power of really that deep reliance on God, on contemplation, on recognizing that, we are not alone. If we take a good look within ourselves and just sit at home in our own cells, so to speak, we will know that there's a deep presence there, that we are already loved, we are already embraced, and that that alone should give us some sense of hope and trust, that I think a lot of people feel alone. They feel it's a, the show Survival, that every day is a survival. We're on an island. And there's a real possibility that we'll be completely abandoned, when in fact, I think what faith, really holds out for us is that we're not alone and we will not be abandoned. God says to us, I am with you always, always, until the end of time. And the faithfulness of God, certainly that is the value of the scriptures from Old Testament to New Testament, a God who is so committed to us that no matter what happens, that God will always, always be with us. And that's our power. Our power comes precisely for the fact that we are not alone, that we are already within this power of divine love. And we should be, truthfully, if we've trusted this love, we should be the freest, the most liberated, the most daring, the most creative, and the most adventurous to create a new future. And in some ways, the fear, the anxiety, and the very reluctance to do anything new just kind of indicates where we are on our faith lives, like how much we really trust that this God is here.
Be not afraid.
Be not afraid,
That's
right?
what I'm hearing. And I imagine that it's in a prayerful, in a contemplative state that we can find not just that inner peace, that respite from our fears, but out of it have the courage, the willingness to accept that future that is to come and accept our role in shaping that future. So it's only out of faith, is what I hear you saying, that we can fully embrace and bring about the future that we do want to see. Exactly.
Yeah. Have faith, right? How many times Jesus said that in the Gospels? Like, have faith. And faith is believing and trusting without having to have logical, analytical explanations of the details of everything, because there is a place for mystery in life. There is the ineffable, the gaps in between what we cannot explain or what we cannot quite fully grasp. And we have this Western penchant to explain everything. And if we can't explain it and understand it logically, then it doesn't exist. And that's the worst type of thinking. That kind of thinking has really unraveled us. Because what we did is we depleted the place of mystery, the mystic depth dimension of life. The best of life is in the inevitable gray areas. The best of life is not what can be known, but what cannot be known, because that's the invitation to trust and to be spontaneous. And and here, all you have to do is look at a child to know that, a child's inner freedom and their creativity and their wonder. I think, the child is probably the best Christic, type of model that we can find. And I think it's probably why Jesus said you should become like little children and really stop growing up so fast. Because we get old and we start, to think a lot, and these powers of reason begin to cloud out that place of trust and wonder. And so contemplation, in a sense, it brings us back to that within us, right? That child who is a creature of God, a child of God, to realize that there's one who loves us, and in that love we are free. We can explore. And I think when we're free to explore, then we can look at the things of nature and contemplate there this same divine love, you know, that's within me, is within the beauty of the trees and the flowers and even the little creatures that I don't necessarily like at times, you know. There's a goodness to everything that exists. Everything that exists within its own place and its own created beingness. It's when we distort that beingness and we start to want to trample on it and control it, that things rise up and they revolt against us.